Hey, it's Tburrier from Tburrier.com. You know, a lot of people struggle with self esteem issues. Research shows that 85% of the population struggles with self esteem. And personally, based on my experience of working with a lot of people, it's higher than that. There's some people that just don't want to admit it. They think it's, like you get some gold star for pretending that, you're bulletproof, when in fact, I think everybody does to a degree, right? Everybody has insecurities, which you could attach to a low esteem in an area. But in general, let's just go with the number 85%, because that's not a small thing, and it can ruin your life if you don't deal with it, if you don't address it, because it'll cause you to make choices, right? What you believe dictates what you choose, and what you choose is going to, well, wherever you are in your life right now, that's been a function of your choices. It doesn't mean things haven't happened that you didn't like, that you didn't plan on, but then you made choices after that, right? You responded with a choice. And so self-esteem is the same as self-worth and self-belief and self-confidence. You can put it all in the same ball. So here's the first thing to think about. And by the way, look, I'm one of those. I have dealt with low self-worth, poor self-image, low self-esteem my entire life, and I know I'm going to deal with it till I'm in the grave. And that's okay. I'm actually glad that I do, because it's helped me a lot once I recognized that was an issue. And I also, by the way, have chemical wiring that doesn't help, right? Where more days than not, I don't wake up feeling very good about myself or about life from a chemical perspective. But again, I'm not a victim of that either, and I'm okay with it. I'm glad I have that, because it's, again, helped me to do other things that have helped my life. So the bottom line is, I'm in the boat and I understand. That's why I can offer you ideas that can help you, because I've navigated it and continue to navigate it. So here's the first thing to recognize: you're not alone, and you weren't born this way. Now, the chemical thing maybe, but you're not born to think poorly of yourself. You've been conditioned that way. Let's just be real. Society does that. Probably one of the worst things for self-esteem that's ever occurred in the world was the invention of social media. That was probably the worst thing. But even before that came along, you have, entire cultures that are conformist. They try to make you fit into a certain box. Well, how's that possible when we're all different and unique? So automatically, if we're not perfectly right, if we don't learn a certain way, if we're not oriented a certain way, then we're not going to feel right. So we're going to feel bad about ourselves, right? So that's a conformist focus will ruin you, because you're not meant to be conforming. You're meant to be yourself, right? So automatically we get the vibe that something's wrong with us. And then we get all this messaging that lets us know that we're not as pretty as we need to be, or we're not as smart as we need to be, or we haven't accomplished what we need to be, or our stuff isn't as good as what we're supposed to have. Right. I mean, that's what we're subject to all the time. And then on top of that, we're bombarded with negativity, right? Negative, 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 right? News is who got killed, who got shot, who's doing a bad thing, who's a bad person. That's all there is, right? And so it tired me out just talking about that. So the bottom line is, you've been hammered with all this stuff. And so we cultivate this reputation of ourselves that's not very good. And even though it's real to us, it's not true. I mean, all you gotta do is think about it like this. You are unique. You have your own set of gifts and skills and talents and abilities, and nobody else in the world exactly like you, which makes you very rare, which makes you very valuable. It's just about understanding your value and growing it and developing it. It's not trying to be like other people so you fit in, so that you look like somebody on TV. Who gives a crap about that garbage? That's just makes me want to throw up. So here's some things that you can do, right, that will help you with this. And again, if you're like me, then you'll deal with it your whole life. But that doesn't mean you have to be a victim of it, and doesn't mean you have to be limited by it. So the first is self-care. You got to prove to yourself that you're worth it, right? So you got to invest in yourself every day. I mean, first thing I do every day is invest a few hours in me every single day of my life. That's the first thing that I do, besides take my dogs out. Right? Why? Because that's the most important thing I can do. I can't show up for my wife or my family or my causes or my work or anybody else. I can't do anything unless I take care of me, so that I show up well. And so I have an awesome morning routine. By the way, if you want a video on that, send me a message or send me an email, and I'll send you a link to that. But I take care of myself physically, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, developmentally. Why? Because I'm developing what God gave me, just like God gave you a bunch of stuff. And you don't just like rest on that, you develop that. That's how you make your difference. That's how you cultivate your value. And but the bigger picture here is you're showing yourself you're worth working on. That's not a little deal. That's a big deal. And so then that's the number one. Number two is serving others. And I don't mean serving others as a doormat. I mean focusing on using your resources, your talents, your gifts. If you don't have money but you have time, use time. If you have money, use money. If you got talents, use talents, which you have all three in some capacity. And so nothing feels better than to serve others. If you want to feel better, this is a short-term thing. If you want to feel better about yourself, go do something for somebody. You'll feel better. But when you invest yourself in things that allow you to impact people's lives, man, that's an incredible thing, right? That feels like nothing else, right? It lights up the same chemicals in your brain that eating really great food does or having sex does. It's just it lasts a lot longer. And so serving others lifts you up. Big deal. Next is limit your exposure to negativity. So really, really simple here. People, if there are people that you can't trust, or people who are negative or downers, or talk badly to you, that's it. Spend no time with them. 0 time. It's too important. You can't do it. And then the other thing is shut off the media, right? The media's negativity. Shut that off, right? You can be purposeful about what you go do. I'm not saying that you shouldn't engage in anything. I'm not telling you not to do anything. I'm saying what to cut out. Cut out negative input, period. And it will make a huge difference for you. And then the last one for this little message, and there are many more. In my book, 3 Circles Living, I talk about a lot of things that can help you here because I'm very real and raw and open and honest and share my experiences. And I have a lot of strategies for this particular area that have helped me and helped many of the people I've coached and mentored over the years. Uncover your strengths and put them to work. This is so important, right? There are things that you are wired to be really, really good at. Really, really. You might not even know them yet, or you might not be good at them yet because you haven't really delved in. But, if there's things you're drawn to or you're interested in or you feel good when you're doing or they give you energy when you're doing, those are clues. And so, there is a strength exercise in the 3 Circles Living book that can help you with that. Or you can also, for example, I'm certified in behavioral analysis and I do DISC. I help people with DISC studies. You can do a DISC, which is a behavioral style profile and preference, and really helps you uncover things to work on as well as what your strengths are. But put your strengths to work. When you're operating in your strengths, you feel good. And again, it affirms you. It's like, wow, I'm doing something that feels good and I'm good at it, or I'm getting better at it quickly because that's what happens. And that's all these things. Again, there's lots more, and I share a bunch more in the book, but they all help. Look, you are a unique, awesome creature. That doesn't mean you're perfect. Nobody's perfect. We all have so many flaws and weaknesses. Great, that's fine. We're supposed to, right? It's a yin and a yang. You focus on your good stuff. Focus on your good stuff and put it to work, and it'll make a huge difference in helping with your esteem. So I hope this is helpful for you. I encourage you to get the book. If you need some coaching, feel free to reach out to me and we can talk about whether or not I'm the right guy to coach you for whatever you're trying to accomplish. All right. So take care. Thanks for stopping by.